Americans Judith Tai Renan and Natalie Shoshana Renan from Evanston, Illinois, reunited with family inside of Israel. U.S. officials are now working to get 10 additional Americans who remain unaccounted for back home this morning. Joining me now is NBC News senior national correspondent Jay Gray, who's live from Tel Aviv, Israel. Jay, good morning. What is the latest update on the Rafah crossing temporarily opening, not only for foreigners to get out, but for humanitarian aid to come in?
Yeah, and to this point, we haven't seen any of those foreign nationals make the trip back into Egypt. We have seen, as you talked about, those 20 trucks move through. It was a very brief opening, open long enough for the 20 trucks to get in, and now they begin to distribute the food, water, medicine, and medical supplies that have been so needed there for the last 2 weeks. We know there are more than 2 million people in Gaza caught in the crossfire here, and they've all desperately been needing some type of delivery. To give you an idea of what they normally see in that region, 400 trucks a day deliver goods into Gaza. This is 20 trucks for the first time in 2 weeks. And what aid agencies and the UN have said is that we'd need 100 trucks with supplies each and every day to fulfill the need there. And one important factor in all of this is while they're bringing in the food and the water and the medicine, there's no fuel going in, and that's something they're in desperate need of as well. Hospitals on the verge of not being able to run equipment. They have no power. Generators can't be run without the fuel, so that's something they are pressing for as well. And you talked about the foreign nationals. The State Department says there are about 600, 650 Americans in Gaza. We know that many have gathered at the Rafah crossing with Egypt, anticipating that it would open and some people would be allowed to clear through. We haven't seen that to this point, but it continues to be something that the State Department, as well as those on the ground, are talking about. We're watching.
Jay, only 2 Americans have been freed so far by Hamas in that surprise release yesterday, but obviously dozens more still held captive by Hamas. Any news on whether or not some more hostages might be released with the assistance of Qatar?
Yeah, and first of all, Katie, great that the mother and daughter were released. And let's remember that Judith Renan was released on humanitarian grounds. She's got a bit of an illness, and so that's, according to Hamas, the reason that she was released. As you would expect, everyone playing it very close to the vest as far as negotiations to release hostages. We know there are about 200. The State Department has said there are about 10 Americans still unaccounted for, and they believe that many of those may be hostages as well. We know that officials in Qatar are working as intermediaries in between Hamas and the other foreign entities trying to have their hostages freed. But again, at this point, it's all backdoor diplomacy and something that you can understand they don't want to share publicly for fear of blowing any type of deal.